Hello and welcome, subscribers. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Please like and comment down below. These are 3 tips to help you, obviously guide you when you're considering getting into precious metals. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor myself, but these are just some general tips and some observations that I've noted myself during my period of stacking. So the first one is research. Pretty much know what you're getting into when it comes to stacking. I mean, obviously you are buying something that has a potential value to it, and it can either move up and it can move down. So just make sure you do your research, that you know what you're getting into. I mean, if you think about it, it's like investing in the stock market. It's like investing in bonds. You want to know what sort of return, how long is it going to take to get that sort of return. When you're looking at the stock market, you're researching the particular company you're buying into. You want to know how much money you're going to get out in the end. Yeah, so look, when people are looking at investing in the stock market, they're pretty much trying to maximize their return. And you will benefit greatly by doing this. I know, basically, when I started getting into stacking, I didn't research. I just wanted to get into it, and it ended up. You can save money by just doing something really simple. Doing a bit of research can save you money in the long run. So something I should, if I'd done, I would have probably expanded my stack just that little bit more, and I'll go into that much later. So research can definitely help in regards to knowing what to stack. And know what you're getting into as well. And the major benefit of doing your research is you can maximize your buying power when it comes to converting your cash into precious metals. And the next one, and obviously we move on to the next one, which is budget, which again is related. If you think about it, without the research, you can't work out a budget. So with the aid of the research you're doing in regards to your precious metals, budget is a big one. Always try and start off with some sort of idea what you want to spend. Don't just go in willy-nilly just buying stuff, because what you might do is, if you go in at least with some sort of idea what you want to spend, there's a good chance you're going to maximize what you can buy with that budget, and then you might be able to increase your stack by a few ounces. So again, I mean, you can easily win by doing your research. You can increase your stack automatically just by doing research. And then with a budget, you can maintain that budget, and you can honestly have a monthly budget that you want to work around. And I mean, look, you might prefer to have rounds, you might prefer to have coins. There's all kinds of different stackers out there. I pretty much collect an array of stuff. It's predominantly coins with some rounds. But rounds aren't really that available in Europe, and they sort of cost almost the same as having a coin. So you can maximize your potential for your stack by working on a budget, and obviously your monthly budget. And also in regards to your own budget, use money that you don't need to dip into. Because you might buy this at $14 an ounce or €14 an ounce. And then, let's say in a month's time, it might only be worth 13 because the market's dropped. And again, that could also be related to the research, as well as know the potential pitfalls in regards to having precious metals. Because it's not like going into a bank and going, right, here we go, I'd like to exchange this. You pretty much got to go to a metal dealer or a coin dealer, and they'll give you the related bullion value, which we'll move on to the next one from the next step. So just work out on a budget that you can easily work with, and you can maximize your potential for how much precious metals you buy, whether that be silver or gold, because you might be able to increase the amount of volume that you have in your stack, which is always a good thing. And then you may also not rely on having to cash this in, because don't forget as well, this isn't as simple to cash in. It's not like going down your LCS or your bullion dealers. There may not be that many, whereas you've got loads of banks around. So keep in mind this can fluctuate, hence why do the research and get the budget in place. And therefore, so when you're buying precious metals, preferably you want to be buying stuff that you don't need to exchange, because either you needed groceries for something. So try and use money that you don't need, and don't forget, use money that you're prepared to lose. That's probably the biggest thing out of this, and that's also again related to research, is that when you're investing in this, you wouldn't say investing, but it could potentially be an investment. When you're getting involved in stacking, is there are pitfalls to it, and that's where research will come in handy, and it'll reinforce what budget you can spend. And the last one is premiums. Again, premiums, again, this is pretty related, because with the higher premiums, it'll minimize the sort of budget that you have in mind. So once you have a certain amount of, once you have a budget in place, you can then work out in regards to what sort of premiums you want to spend on stuff. I mean, essentially, when I first started, I didn't have a budget, which I probably should have done. These are 3 things that I know I could definitely learn from. If I could take all this back, I would probably be able to grow my stack automatically just by following these simple guidelines. Yeah, premiums are another one. Premiums vary. You got some deals. I'd say shop around because it's all accessible. You've got various bullion dealers online. You can go into Google and say cheapest bullion available, and it'll work out what dealer's offering the best possible, or best spot deals. You can put all of that stuff into Google, and that's probably one of the biggest advantages of having Google, is that the information out there is so accessible now, which allows you to do the research, and then from doing the research you can put a budget in place. And then of course with the premiums, you can reduce the amount of premiums you're going to pay, because the less you pay in premiums, the more you're going to build up in your stack. It really is as simple as that. It really is straightforward. By doing that, you're going to automatically increase the size. For myself, when I started, I mean, to give you an idea, this Valcambi bar that I bought, it was 100 grams, and 100 grams of in bullion price, I think back then, was probably not a lot of money. 100 grams is probably just over 3 ounces, 3 and a third ounce, which is the equates to probably what, 45. It was probably, I think it was around €14 an ounce thereabouts. So that's 20. It's 30. It's about 42. If I was 14, this one is 28, 32. It's €42 for this, and I ended up spending over 100 for this thing. Unfortunately, I really kicked myself in the teeth for doing that, because I could have bought more of this stuff here. So, this is something that I have to wait until silver gets up to over 30. Let's say €35 an ounce to get some form of return on it. Yes, it does have a tangible value to it, where there is a markup on it. And if you have a look online on eBay, you'll probably find them going for over €100 each. But from a bullion value, because don't forget, these are that's hence the reason why they're called bullion, is they are worth bullion spot price. Yes, this may have an numismatic value to it, but at the end of the day, it's worth what the price of bullion is. And this here, this, I lost out on that, and I probably wouldn't have bought it had I actually done my research and put a budget in place and watched out for those premiums. So, I mean, here are some ones here. These are probably one of the most affordable, these silver rounds here, the Aztec ones. Low premium. You can't really get them here though, but from a value perspective, you want to try and minimize particularly when you're building a foundation for your stack, you want to try and minimize the amount of premiums that you spend. I mean, there's really only a few coins in my stack that are pretty much low bullion value, and these are the kangaroos that you get here in Europe. They're pretty low. I would say lower premium than normal. And then I did a video some time back, which I'll include in the description over here. It was it top 10 or top 5? I think it was the top 10 in regards to what dollar and euro value was. So I'll put the eye up there if you want to check it out. It was some time ago, but this was the lowest premium coin I could get my hands on, and it was New Way, $2, and the premium on it was the lowest. So you can maximize your potential for your stack, and even the Philharmonics here. I was just about to grab it out there, but obviously with no gloves on. But the Philharmonics are really good value from a foundation perspective, and even the Krugerrands. Wow, the Krugerrands are just excellent value, and they're really good quality. But it's all about keeping the premiums low, which obviously you can maximize your budget, and by doing your research you can know pretty much which one is going to enable you to spend your money wisely in order to maximize your stack. So there you have it. Research, budget, and watch out for those premiums, because you can essentially, I mean, when I bought these 10-ounce rounds, these weren't far off what a standard, let's say, bullion coin would cost me. So I thought, well, I'd be getting some, you know, buying 10 ounces of it. These worked out to, I think they were 180 euros. And yes, they've gone up in value. I think you can pick these up now from dealers for over 200. So I probably could get my money back if I wanted to. But again, it's only worth 10 ounces of silver, which current it's about 130 euros an ounce. Sorry, 130 euros for this 10-ounce piece from a bullion price. But obviously it has some numismatic value, which means that it's worth more. So, you know, keep your options open there. These were pretty good value too, these dragon coin bars. The reason why I've got so many of them. But yeah, if you spend your money wisely, you can increase your stack again, and you can maximize your potential. I mean, buying collectible items like that, you know, that you're looking at something completely different. You know, if you do maximize your budget, you know, you are able to increase your stack, and then what you can do is you can either go, well, you know, I want to buy something special like an Apollo coin, or some of the Perth Mint limited releases, let's say the Phoenix and the Tiger, or the Tiger and the the Phoenix and the Dragon, or the Tiger and the Dragon, something like that. And you can spend and you can have that stuff in your stack. Likewise with that has collectible value, but it has a minimum bullion value to it. But you know, at the end of the day, if things, you know, deteriorated as such, where, you know, your money was useless, then obviously this would exceed in value, and would be worth more than obviously having it in tangible, real value, holding it. But I mean, obviously you can consider something like that as a treat. But thanks very much for watching. I hope that gave you a bit of insight. I hope that made sense. You know, so again, just to go through, if you do your research, you know, and which will enable you to put a budget to make sure to maximize your budget monthly, and you can watch out for those premiums and keep those premiums low. You don't want to be, you know, buying stuff that, you know, particularly when you're building a foundation of your stack like I did. And, you know, I bought something like that, and, you know, it's worth, you know, under 50 euros, and it cost me over 100. I've immediately lost 50 euros just on that, where I could have bought, let's say, 120 euros back then. I probably could have bought maybe 10 ounces. So I've got 3.5 ounces of, yeah, so there's 3.5 ounces there, and I probably could have at least got 8. I could have doubled my my ounceage of bullion. Thanks so very much for watching, everybody. Please hit the subscribe button in the middle there. Please watch my other content that's available. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, and please like the video. And I'll see you on the next video. And thanks so much for watching. I hope this really adds value out there. Thanks a lot.